Hey everyone, in this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Abraham Lincoln wheat penny you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these Lincoln wheat pennies so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, we're diving into the story and value of one of the classic coins of American history, the 1953D Lincoln wheat penny, especially in good condition. Let's find out if your 1953 penny is more valuable than you think. The year was 1953. America was experiencing a post-war boom. Dwight D. Eisenhower had just taken office as president, and the Lincoln wheat penny continued to be a cornerstone of everyday life. These small copper coins traveled through countless hands, buying candy, newspapers, and even a soda bottle or two. Though 1953 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark was minted at the Denver Mint. That little D below the date is your clue. In 1953, the Denver Mint produced an impressive 700 million plus of these pennies, making it one of the more common mintages of the 1950s. On the obverse, or front of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This iconic image has been on US pennies since 1909, marking Lincoln's 100th birthday that year. The reverse of the coin features two stalks of wheat surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America, giving it the nickname wheat penny or wheat cent. This classic reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958. Now, let's talk about the coin's metal composition. The 1953D wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Because of its high copper content, it even has some intrinsic metal value, especially if copper prices rise. The coin we're focusing on today is in good G4 condition. That means the coin has heavy wear. Most details are flat or smooth, but the date and lettering are still clearly visible. While it's not rare in this condition, it still holds collector value, especially for those completing full sets. So what's the value of a 1953D Lincoln wheat penny in good condition in today's market? Typically, these coins are worth around 5 cents to 20 cents, which is just slightly above face value due to their copper content and collectible interest. However, value can go up significantly for coins in better condition. In fine F12 condition, it might fetch 30 cents to 50 cents. In extremely fine EF40 condition, it could go up to $1 or more. And if you're lucky enough to have a mint state MS63 or higher example, those can sell between $5 to $15, sometimes even higher if certified by grading services like PCGS or UNGC. Also worth noting, be on the lookout for errors and varieties. Some rare 1953D wheat pennies with double dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes can command $50 to $200 or more, depending on rarity and eye appeal. If you have a 1953D penny, handle it with care. Use gloves if possible and avoid cleaning it, as that can destroy its collector value. Store it in a safe place, like a coin flip or album, to preserve it for the long haul. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, found in circulated condition with some scratches. Though millions were made, this humble penny continues to capture the attention of collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. Let's dive into the coin's design, background, and current value in today's collector market. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first United States coin to feature a real person and set the standard for modern coinage portraiture. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it quickly became an iconic image in American currency. The 1957 penny weir, focusing on today, is one of the last few years in the wheat series. which ended in 1958 before switching to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design in 1959. This particular coin, dated 1957, does not have a mint mark. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Back in those days, coins minted in Philadelphia didn't carry a mint mark, unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco. So if your 1957 penny doesn't show a letter under the date, you're looking at a Philadelphia issue. The obverse of the coin features the famous profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Above his head is the national motto in God. We trust, while the word liberty appears to the left of the portrait, and the date 1957 is placed to the right. On the reverse side, you'll find two stylized wheat stalks curving inward along each edge of the coin. These frame the large inscription 1 cent. Followed by United States of America at the top is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This design remained unchanged for 50 years and is beloved by collectors for its classic simplicity. Now, let's talk about what your 1957 wheat penny is made of. Like other Lincoln wheat cents from the era, it is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This copper composition gives older pennies their distinct reddish-brown or darker brown tone, depending on age, exposure, and how well they've been stored. Because your coin has some scratches, it's likely it has seen a good deal of circulation, and may show wear in the details of Lincoln's face, hair, and the wheat stalks on the back. Coins like these are generally considered to be in good or fine condition, so what is a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark and in worn condition worth today? In the most common condition, heavily circulated with scratches or discoloration, this coin is generally worth around 3 to 10 cents. Yes, you heard that right. Even though it's over 65 years old, its value is still modest because of the massive mintage. Over 282 million of these pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint alone in 1957, making it one of the most common wheat pennies out there. However, don't be too quick to dismiss it. Every coin tells a story, and even common coins can be interesting for collectors, especially those who are just starting out or trying to complete a full detachment set of Lincoln wheat cents. Plus, the historical significance of this coin coming from the post-World War II baby boom era and the start of the space race adds extra meaning for many people. It's also worth mentioning that rare errors and varieties can sometimes increase the value significantly. While most 1957 pennies are standard strikes, a few examples exist with double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes. If you suspect your coin might have an unusual feature, it could be worth having it checked by a coin expert or submitting it to a coin grading service if you're collecting or storing your 1957 wheat penny. Even in circulated condition, it's best to keep it in a dry, clean environment, ideally inside a coin flip or collector album. Avoid handling it too much, especially with bare hands, as oils and moisture can speed up corrosion or discoloration. And never clean your coins, especially vintage ones. Cleaning can ruin the surface and dramatically reduce collectible value, even if the coin looks shinier afterward, in the end. While your 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark and in scratched condition may not be worth a fortune, it's still a tangible piece of history. It represents a time when pennies had real buying power and a country that was growing rapidly in every sense. Whether you keep it as a memory, add it to a collection, or use it to spark interest in coin collecting, this little coin still has a story to tell. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, found in good condition with some scratches. While this coin is one of the most common wheat pennies ever minted, it still holds historical and collector interest that's worth knowing. About the Lincoln wheat cent, often simply called the wheat penny, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent quickly became a favorite among the public and has been a cornerstone of American coinage ever since. The 1944 penny, struck during the final year of World War II, carries an important legacy. With the war effort at its peak, copper and other metals were tightly regulated. In 1943, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc to save copper for ammunition. But by 1944, the mint resumed using a copper-based alloy, primarily from recycled shell casings collected from military training grounds to produce pennies. That makes the 1944 Lincoln penny both historically significant and unique in its own way. Your coin, a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During that time, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on its coins. Over 1.4 billion of these were produced in Philadelphia alone, making it one of the highest mintage coins of the entire wheat cent series. That large production number is one reason why many of these coins are still in circulation today, or found in coin collections across the country. Let's talk about the design. The obverse or front side of the coin features the iconic right-facing profile of President Abraham Lincoln. Above his head, the motto, "In God We Trust," arches along the top rim. To the left of Lincoln's profile is the word liberty, and to the right is the date, 1944. The reverse side shows two stylized wheat stalks curving along the left and right. Edges of the coin, hence the name wheat penny between them, are the words 1 cent and United States of America. Just above that is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many. 1. Your 1944 penny is described as being in good condition with some scratches. That means it's circulated and shows noticeable wear. Lincoln's features may be worn down, and the lettering and details on both the front and back might not be sharp. Scratches are common in coins that have passed through many hands over the decades. In the world of coin grading, this would generally place your coin in the good or about good range, still collectible, but not considered high-grade. Now, let's get to what most of you are here for the value. Because of its high mintage, the 1944 Lincoln penny without mint mark is considered very common. In circulated condition with wear and scratches, it typically sells for around 3 to 5 cents on the collector's market. However, collectors often seek out wheat pennies to complete a full date set, and every coin has its place in history. Even modest coins like this are part of a larger picture that fascinates collectors of all levels. But don't tune out yet, there's always a chance for surprises. Some rare errors from the 1944 penny series are worth serious money. For example, a few pennies were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchettes from 1943. These rare 1944 steel pennies can be worth thousands of dollars if authenticated. So, if your coin is attracted to a magnet, you may have something far more valuable. Even doubled die errors or mistrack examples of this coin can sell for much more than face value. If your coin is a standard copper example with no stray rare errors, and it shows visible wear and scratches, it likely holds sentimental and historical value more than monetary value. Still, it's a meaningful piece of American history, a penny that may have passed through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, and everyday Americans during one of the most important eras in U.S. history. Next up, the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark, struck at the Denver Mint and found in very fine condition with some scratches. This coin is significant because it represents the final year of the wheat penny design, making it a key piece for collectors. Let's dive into the history, design, and current market value of this fascinating coin. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, which was revolutionary at the time. The wheat stalk reverse design remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. This means the 1958 wheat penny is the last of its kind, and coins from this year are especially meaningful to collectors. Your coin, marked with a D Mint mark, was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1958, Denver struck over 580 million pennies, making it one of the more plentiful mint marks of that year. However, despite the high mintage, the 1958D wheat penny still holds special value for collectors because of its status as the final wheat penny issue. On the front, or obverse of the coin, you'll find the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," with the word liberty to the left and the date 1958 to the right. Just below the mint mark D, the obverse is rich with detail in a very fine condition coin, though some wear and minor scratches may soften the sharpness of Lincoln's facial features and hair. Turning the coin over, the reverse side features the classic wheat stalk design to stylized ears of wheat frame the edges of the coin, with 1 cent and United States of America proudly displayed in the center. Above the denomination is the phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many." A nod to the unity of the United States, because your coin is described as being in very fine condition with some scratches. It means that while the coin has clearly circulated, much of the original detail remains intact. In coin grading terms, very fine VF means moderate, whereas visible on the highest points. But all major details are clear and defined. Scratches are common on circulated coins, but as long as they aren't deep gouges, they usually don't drastically reduce the coin's value. Speaking of value, you might be wondering what this 1958D Lincoln wheat penny is worth today. In very fine condition, these coins generally sell in the range of 25 cents to around $1. Depending on the specific coins, I appeal and market demand. Coins with better color, less corrosion, or fewer scratches can reach higher prices, especially if certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, while the 1958D wheat penny is not considered rare. It's a sought-after coin for those completing date and mint mark collections or who simply appreciate the history it represents. Because it's the last year the wheat design was used, it holds a special place in the series and often commands slightly higher premiums than earlier common date pennies in comparable condition. It's also worth noting that errors and varieties from this year can increase the value significantly. For example, double die errors, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes can push prices into the tens or even hundreds of dollars. If you suspect your coin may have such an error, it's worth consulting a coin expert or submitting it for professional grading and authentication. If you're planning to keep your 1958D penny, make sure to store it properly. Avoid touching the surfaces directly with your fingers, as oils and dirt can accelerate wear and discoloration. Use coin flips, holders, or albums to protect your coin from environmental damage. And, as always, avoid cleaning the coin, because harsh cleaning can reduce its value by scratching or altering the original surface. In summary, your 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in very fine condition and with some scratches is a wonderful piece of American numismatic history. Next up, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny. This particular coin has no mint mark, features a large date design, and is found in fine condition with some light scratches. It's a humble piece of copper, but like many coins from this era, it carries a rich story and a small but meaningful place in the world of numismatics. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is part of a long and beloved series of coins that began in 1909. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual historical figure, Abraham Lincoln, rather than the symbolic images used before. The designer, Victor David Brenner, chose to represent the legacy of Lincoln not just through a dignified portrait on the front, but also through a reverse design featuring 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing strength and prosperity. Your coin, the 1946 issue without a mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1946, just 1 year after World War II ended. The U.S. Mint produced over 991 million Lincoln cents in Philadelphia alone, so they're not considered rare. However, finding one in a well-preserved condition still excites collectors, especially as the years go by. More than 7 decades later, these coins remain a tangible piece of post-war American history. This particular coin is described as having a large date, which is a typical style used during this time period, meaning the numbers in the year are bold and easy to read. The coin's absence of a mint mark confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. As that mint did not place identifying marks on their coins at the time, in terms of appearance, the obverse features Lincoln's right-facing profile, with "In God We Trust" arched across the top. The word Liberty is on the left side of the coin, and the date, 1946, is to the right. The reverse displays the iconic wheat stalks, one on each side of the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above that is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. Now, let's talk about the condition. A fine-grade coin means this 1946 wheat penny has moderate wear. The high points of Lincoln's hair and jaw may be smooth or faded, and the wheat lines on the back might show soft detail. Still, all major elements remain clearly visible, and the coin holds up well under close examination. The scratches mentioned are common for circulated coins. They're signs of the coin's journey through many hands and pockets. While scratches do impact value slightly, they do not erase the historical importance of the piece. In today's coin market, the value of a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition typically ranges from 5 to 15 cents. While this may not sound like much, it is still well above face value. And for collectors filling out a complete Lincoln wheat cent set, it's a necessary and desirable coin. If the coin had been in uncirculated or mint state condition, it could fetch several dollars, especially if certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Of course, there are special varieties and errors that can boost the value significantly. In the 1946 issue, collectors occasionally come across double die obverses or repunch dates, and those errors, even in modest condition, can be worth several dollars to even hundreds, depending on rarity and severity. If you believe your coin may have an error, it's always a smart idea to have it examined by an expert or a reputable coin dealer, for collectors and enthusiasts alike. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a small copper coin. It represents the return to peace following the turmoil of World War II, a time when the country was rebuilding and moving forward. It's also one of the more accessible years for collectors who are working on completing a full wheat penny datand mint mark set without breaking the bank. If you plan to keep the coin in your collection, be sure to store it properly. Use a coin flip or a protective sleeve to prevent further scratching or oxidation. Never attempt to clean it, as even gentle cleaning can damage the surface and reduce the value even more than the scratches already present. It's always best to leave the coin in its original, natural state. Next up, the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny with the Denver D Mint mark, large date style, in extra fine condition. If you've got one of these coins or are curious about its historical and collector's value, you're in the right place. The 1953 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the beloved wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 until 1958. This particular coin features the classic design by Victor David Brenner, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse or front, and the two wheat ears on the reverse side. These wheat ears flank the denomination 1 cent and are the defining symbol of this series. Above the denomination is the legend E pluribus unum on the obverse. Along with Lincoln's portrait, you'll find the inscriptions "In God We Trust." Arching along the top, Liberty on the left and the date 1953 to the right. Just above the small d, mint mark indicating this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. This coin we're discussing today comes with a large date variety, which means the numerals in the year 1953 appear slightly more pronounced and spacious compared to small date varieties that exist in some other years. The coin is in extra fine condition, meaning that the major details, like Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks, are still sharp and well-defined. Of course, it does have some scratches, which is common for coins that have seen some circulation but still maintain much of their original detail. Now, let's talk about the historical context. The year 1953 was a time of transition in America. Dwight D. Eisenhower had just been inaugurated as president. The Korean War was still ongoing, and the country was experiencing the early stages of the post-World War II economic boom. During this time, coins were a crucial part of daily commerce. Vending machines, payphones, and everyday transactions relied heavily on pennies. So while the 1953 penny may seem small, it played a big role in daily life. In terms of production, the Denver Mint produced over 700 million of these pennies in 1953, a sizable number. Because of this, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not considered a rare coin in general. However, condition plays a major role in value. Most coins from this year were heavily circulated, and those in higher grades, like extra fine or uncirculated, are more desirable to collectors. A 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny in extra fine condition typically sells for anywhere from 35 cents to $1.25. In today's coin market, however, certain factors can push the price higher. Coins with strong eye appeal, minimal toning, and a bright copper red or red-brown surface often attract premium bids at auctions or from private collectors. That being said, because the coin we're talking about has some visible scratches, that can slightly lower the value, possibly putting it in the 25 cents to 75 cents range, depending on the severity and location of those scratches. On auction platforms, such as eBay or specialized numismatic sites, we've seen examples of scratched, extra-fine 1953 Lincoln pennies sell for just under $1 when properly photographed and described. If you're selling, having the coin professionally graded is often not cost-effective for lower-value wheat pennies like this one, unless you believe it's an extremely high-grade specimen. Still, for coin collectors, the 1953 wheat penny remains a key date in assembling a complete Lincoln cent set. It's not the rarest, nor the most valuable, but it holds its own due to its age, design, and the story it tells about 1950s America. If you're a new collector or inherited a coin collection, this is definitely a coin worth holding on to, especially in extra fine condition. It's a great example of what circulated U.S. currency looked like in the early 1950s. And it continues to be a nostalgic and historical piece for coin enthusiasts across the country. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss out on our future videos. Drop a comment below if you have a 1953 penny in your collection. We'd love to hear about its condition and where you found it. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and happy hunting.